This might be one of the most flexible and easy healers to play right now in Guild Wars 2 PvE. This is a Quickness heal Ritualist build. It is very fun to play, very strong. If you don't believe me, be sure to watch the whole video to see how crazy good this build is. I'm Surma, and as always, special shout out to all my dear supporters that help me keep the lights on. And now without much further ado, let's jump straight in and start with the gear. As usual, this is a healing build, so you can run any mix between Harriers, Givers, Minstrel, even Magi's pieces in there so that you find the perfect spot for your tankiness. But the most important things that you need is the highest amount of healing power that you can get while having 100% boon duration with food. That is what I would recommend. Those two things, that's the go-to. If you need more tankiness, go for more vitality or more toughness or both. If you don't want to be the tank, get as little toughness as possible. So I would recommend either full Harriers, maybe some Minstrel or Givers pieces in there, maybe some Magi's pieces to make you more tanky. My exact setup is in the description down below, of course also an exotic version. For the rune, I would always go with Superior Rune of the Water, just gives the most amount of value for you. And if you can afford infusions, I would recommend going for healing power infusions, but of course not necessary. For weapons, I would always go with a staff, and I would recommend going for a dagger and a warhorn. There could be some alterations how you can play this. You can go with pistol, you can go with torch, but I think this setup is very well working, so I would recommend dagger and warhorn. For sigils, always concentration and transference for both of them. That's how I would play it. Again, trinkets mix between Magi's, Harriers, Givers, and Minstrel, whatever you find suits you. And for the relic, I would recommend Relic of the Flock. However, Relic of the Flock is the most amount of healing raw healing that you can put out. There are other options. You can go for Relic of Castora if you want to get some crazy burst healing if the ally is below 50%, that can work. Or if you really want to have crazy good might bursts in the beginning of a fight, then Relic of the Midnight King is also very valid, but even with this setup, you can reach 24 might within seconds of the start of the fight. So if anyone else in the party provides one stack of might, you will be covered in like a 1 second with the might. If you want to make sure that you get the 25 might stacks directly at the beginning of the fight, you have to go for Relic of the Midnight King. Yeah. Only then you can get that instantly, but it's not necessary. After that, you can get to 25 mites anyway. It's just important in the beginning. That's why I would say for most of the real cases, Relic of the Flock is probably the best choice. For utility and food consumables, you would go, of course, for healing build, bowls of fruit salad with mint garnish. It's the best option. But if you cannot afford it or cannot get it, the very cheap option would be delicious rice balls. Very, very easy to get. Very nice replacement. For utility consumables, always use bountiful maintenance oils. It's by far the best option. Quite pricey, but by far the best. Before I go to the trades, I want to mention, if you like this specific guide, be sure to leave a like, and if you want to see more guides and tier lists all about Guild Wars 2 Visions of Eternity, be sure to subscribe. But now let's talk about the trades. And the trades for this build are obviously insanely good. You will see why in a second. Blood Magic gives you just some nice passive heals, you get some nice dodge alteration, so you get some healing on dodge and vigor because of transfusion. So all your marks on your staff will be now giving some additional healing, some vigor. The 3 skill heals and grants protection, the 4 skill removes conditions on top of transferring it, and grants stability, the 5 skill. So really, really overloaded skill that will also be applied to your Mark of Evasion. Then you get some passive life siphoning, that's quite nice, and you get more healing power depending on how much health you have, and you also give some buff to your allies that they cannot drain health while they are down. That's quite cool as well. Then you take Overflowing Thirst. This is really, really good because you use dagger, and then all your dagger skills can apply this taste for blood. So the auto attack in the last chain and the 2 and the 3 skill always will apply some kind of life siphon healing for your allies. Really good, just some more healing. Then you get more healing when you exit Shroud, and you get more healing to allies, really good. And Transfusion we already covered, so Blood Magic, really, really important. Then you have Soul Reaping, that is altering your life force generation and stuff like that, really good. So you get more life force, you get shorter recharge of your Shroud skills, and your maximum life force is increased, really good. This is really good, it grants you a lot of life force when you use your marks, which also means that you can dodge and get some life force, so you have almost never a problem with life force generation. Then you get even more life force when you use a fear effect, you have a lot of them, and they also have more potency, really good. You could, if you don't need that much CC or life force, you can swap to Vital Persistence for more healing and vitality, but the healing is only for yourself, so that's a little bit of selfish trait, but if you struggle to stay alive, that would be the way to go. And then you have Eternal Life, just some passive life force generation and some protection. That can be quite good, but only for yourself. And then you have Ritualist. which is this thing that enables Quickness healer, because you get, of course, access to Quickness and your specific Shroud alteration. We will talk about it in a second. You get more concentration and more life force when you summon a creature, which is really good, like you summon a lot of creatures. And then you have Charged Soul, which means that you can use your spirits that you summon to get even more boons out. So Might and Fury, you can get a Fear effect, and you can get Aegis Resistance ability as well with the Preservation Innovate. So really, really good. For the traits that you actually take, you take Spirit's Gift so that you get some nice healing when you summon a creature. Obviously, really good, over 2k healing with the outgoing modifiers, and you do that a lot, just really, really potent. Then this is the important one, so that you get Quickness whenever you summon a spirit for your allies as well. And depending on what kind of spirit you summon, you also get some more boons to them, really, really potent. And then lastly, you take Soul Twisting, really, really good trait. The first spirit that you summon when you enter Shroud will instantly recharge, so you can double up on, for example, Anguish for some nice damage, or some more Might generation. You can double up on Fury or the CC, or you can double up on Healing and the Resolution. So a lot of value there already with those two traits together. So let's quickly cover the Shroud, because the Shroud is quite important, of course. In the Shroud, your auto attack is not that good, but you want to use your 2 skill for Might and some damage, the 3 skill for some nice CC, and of course also more boons, and the 4 skill for some nice healing, very big healing, I have to admit, and very big amount of condition cleanse for your allies as well, while also granting some nice prunes. So you always use that, it's an AoE, and you see how much nice boons it gives, really, really strong. And then you can use your Innovate, so you cannot use the Innovate skills without having the summons up, but if you use it, it will do some nice attack. And this attack is really potent because it gives some nice defensive boons, and you can double up all of those. So if you go first in the Shroud, you can double up on the healing. If you need a crazy amount of healing and Condi Cleanse, you can double up on the CC, and you can always use your 5 skill, which is an instant cast teleport. And this will be a very, very potent skill, because depending on what kind of summons you have up, this will also do an attack. The Wanderlust will be an CC, and the Preservation will do a bubble that destroys projectiles for 4 seconds. So it's really, really important. You can see when I teleport here, we'll get a nice bubble around me. And that can be used obviously very, very reactively, because it's instant cast. You just have to have the Preservation up, and you can block some nice projectiles with that. So the Shroud, really, really potent. But of course, not for damage, more for utility. You're not focused that much on damage, but don't underestimate, with full hierarchy, you actually do a decent amount of damage as well. And when you leave, you get some nice healing to your allies as well. And Dagger skills, always really good for some nice passive lifesteal. The 2 skill heals a bit more. The 3 skill is some nice Boon Corrupt. That's also good, and some life force. The 4 skill is some nice CC, also a lot of damage against like Defiant foes, and of course gives you some life force if you hit with it. Then Locust Swarm, very important to upkeep Swiftness, also some nice lifesteal around you. And you have the 2, 3, and 4 I already covered, really good marks. AoE skills, also very good to cast on allies, of course, because especially the 4 skill for some Condi Transfer and Cleanse and the Blast Finisher, the 3 skill for some a lot of healing and protection, and the 5, of course, for the stability. For the utility skills and the healing skill, I would always go for Well of Blood, a very nice heal, very, very potent burst heal, also covers some region. Then for utility skills, you're completely free, you can take whatever you want. I like Blood is Power, so to cover the Might in the beginning, very easy to do that. You can take Weapon of Warding for some nice blocks for your allies, it's also stun break for you and grants some nice protection. It doesn't say here that it's an Aegis, but it feels like an Aegis, so think like an Aegis for your allies. And it gives some nice protection, so really good, and upkeeps region. And then I take Spectral Cast often to get some nice pull and some nice CC. What would you swap if you don't need any of those? You can go for any of the weapon spells. They are not bad. You share them with your allies to some extent. That is good. But you can also go for Epidemic. You can go for Projectile Destruction with Corrosive Poison Cloud. You can go for more Condi Transfer. You can go for Signet of Undeath to revive someone. You can go for summoning more minions to heal more people, because those will also proc that. Or you can go for more wells. So there are so many options. Choose what you actually need. I think this is a very easy setup to run, but you can swap around. And then you take Flash Golem, it's by far the best option here, because it gives some nice CC. That's about it. But you can also swap to Sinray's Weapon if you want to provide some kind of like damage mitigation or stability to allies. The rotation is pretty straightforward. I will start with the opener. In the opener, you want to start with Ritualist Shroud into Anguish, into Wanderlust, Innovate Anguish, and Preservation, and cast Anguish again. Use Innovate Wanderlust, and if you need stability, even Innovate Preservation, and swap out of the Shroud. Then you use Locust Swarm and Well of Doom and swap weapons, use Mark of Blood and Chillbanes and dodge if you need, and then you can follow, so to say, your loop, whatever you need to do, because it's not important that you always use attacks of cooldown because you already covered most of the things. Just dip in the Shroud, use always your Might Uptime and your Preservation for healing, and that's about it. And if you need a lot of healing, you can of course use Well of Blood, you can use regeneration from dodging and stuff. You can of course also use like the dagger attacks like I mentioned earlier, and you can of course use your preservation to heal your allies quite a bit. And if you stay in Shroud, you can also like keep the preservation up, which means that it will provide some passive healing as well. And of course all your marks give some nice burst heal as well. And if you need a lot of CC, you can of course also combo it with your Wanderlust and double tap depth. But in general, as you can see here in the background, really fun, really easy to play build. It's just about the opener that you use your spells very fast in the Shroud, especially the Anguish to get some nice might up and the preservation. And then you get, after that, you can just dip in Shroud on once and now and then and just provide some quickness, might, and all of the good stuff. And use your utility skills as necessary. Like I mentioned earlier, if you don't run Relic of the Midnight King, you should use your Blood's Power in the beginning as well to get to 25 might, or have someone else provide 1 stack of might. But that's about it. This is the build how it plays. Really fun to play, really easy to learn, and has a lot of potential with it as well. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, be sure to leave a like. If you want to see more content like this, don't forget to subscribe. And I hope to see you all in the next video.